Hello and welcome to Divadet TV. My name is John Duffy and I am a writer for Divadet.com. So once you watch this video, do me a favour, head over to the website and check out all the wonderful stuff we do there every single day. Well, I'm here today to talk to you about the slamming that happens during summertime. Yes, SummerSlam is here and we have not one, not two, but three really interesting and enticing matches to look forward to. But there's going to be a little change to the format today. Instead of just having little old me waffle on about women's wrestling for about 10-15 minutes, we are going to talk with Nick Wilkinson, another writer for Divadet.com. So without further ado, Nick, how's it going, man?
Good, how about you?
Yeah, good, thanks. So let's just dive straight in.
What did you make of Thunderdome?
I think it's a good concept.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say that they're not trying.
No.
I did see a lot of comments on our own website about from our readers that said that they wish that they would just bring back the wrestlers in the audience too, like the NXT or Performance Center ones, because that made it obviously more realistic because they were actually there clapping, or cheering, whatever. But I mean, it wasn't bad. I like the look. Besides the actual fans, like the virtual fans, I think the look of everything was good.
Yeah.
Like the pyro, the graphics, all the screen, all of that. Like it was good to see it back in an arena as opposed to just like a small corner of the Performance Center.
Yes, yeah, for sure. On Smackdown last night, we got the Beat the Clock segment involving Bayley and Sasha Banks. It accomplished a further rift in the relationship between Sasha Banks and Bayley. Bayley took another loss. I think that's her second in 2 weeks. She lost to Asuka. She tapped out to Shayna Baszler, and then she lost to Naomi. I can see that they might be building up. They're obviously building up the rift again. You've got Bayley becoming more frustrated, being on the losing end for 3 matches on the run. She's now the first opponent for Asuka. So I suppose it did accomplish those factors, but as a segment and as the matches, I just didn't like it. What did you think?
So I think storyline-wise, it was great. Like you said, it put the rift in between Bayley and Sasha, but however, we've seen that rift for the past 2 to 3 years. So on the other, I'm still not, yes, do I want to see Bayley versus Sasha again? Absolutely. So yes, I eventually want to see those two, and I understand now it's a weird time. COVID, no fans, whatever. So I get it. But I mean, at some point you just might have to pull the cord on them, the feud, because how much longer are we going to wait?
That's it. Yeah. I feel that there also has to be a title involved. I just think it'd add that extra, especially the way Bayley has been the SmackDown Women's Champion. You can see that the title means a lot to her. So for Sasha Banks to take it from her, I think it'd add a little bit more emphasis on the feud and on the actual match. But as you said before, it's 2, 3, maybe even 4 years in the making. The thing is, I feel is they've been such a vital part of this era of WWE. They've definitely been like the 2 MVPs for WWE. I think they've been phenomenal. It's been the best thing in WWE, I think, for the last couple of months. I think maybe because they've been working so well together and gelling so well and playing off each other so well that I think WWE might be hesitant to execute the split. I think that the WWE might just be happy to kind of have that tumultuous relationship between Sasha and Bayley for the next 3 to 4 years.
I mean, they could, and I see your point that they've definitely been carrying everything. I feel along with especially Asuka, and even still, there's still roster full of women. Yeah, Bayley and Sasha and Asuka have been carrying it, but that doesn't mean. I mean, to me personally, for SummerSlam, I'm the most interested in Sonya versus Mandy.
Yeah.
So
same.
I mean, we can say all we want that Sasha, Bayley, and Asuka have been carrying it, which I agree. But Mandy and Sonya, I feel, is more interesting because the other three, you have 3 women with 2 matches, so it's like, okay, but
it's slight overkill. It is slight overkill. I think Bayley, Asuka, and Sasha Banks. You know, there's only so much you can do by having, like as you said, 3 women in 2 matches. You know, again across all 3 brands. I just think again, wrestling fans will start to get tired of that overexposure, for sure.
And I'm sure they already have, but because it's those 3 who are 3 great wrestlers, great characters, Bayley has come into her. Well, I mean, some people still argue about Bayley, but I think that her heel run has eventually evolved, and she's gotten way better. At first, her heelness was like, ugh. But I mean, she's gotten better. It was a perfect time to do something else.
Yeah.
Because SummerSlam is literally like, it's one of the big 4. It's definitely like the summer WrestleMania, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And you could have literally had Mickey versus Bayley. I mean, she had just come back. That was the perfect time to put her in the triple brand battle royal, have her win, go against Bayley. I mean, the whole thing wrote itself. I'm not opposed with her and Natty feuding because they're 2 veterans, and I think that they could kill it. But as we see, they didn't care about that either. So that's a whole different story we don't need to get into because it's not SummerSlam.
So getting back to Asuka versus Sasha Banks and Bayley. Obviously, we've got Asuka versus Bayley first. I'd imagine that's going to be the first match on the card, and then we're going to get Asuka versus Sasha Banks later on. Who have you got as leaving as the SmackDown Women's Champion and the Raw Women's Champion?
So I feel like Asuka's going to win both or none but it makes no sense to me for her to win SmackDown. It makes absolutely no sense unless she wins them both. If she beats Sasha, then she's going to beat Bayley. So she's going to win them both. Which then that just leaves them as the tag champs. And okay. But then again, we still have 1 woman with 2 titles, which I'm not opposed with Asuka being a double champ. But I feel like, do we need it right now? We had Becky as a double champ, which didn't last very long. But now we have Sasha and Bayley with all of the gold.
Yeah.
So, and then we're going to roll into Asuka with still most of the gold. But then again, does Asuka really need to lose 2 matches? The whole thing is just, I don't even know what to make of it.
It's kind of typical WWE booking when they just book themselves into a corner and they have no escape from it. So Bayley and Sasha are hot. They're getting lots of plaudits for all the work that they've been doing on Raw and SmackDown. Asuka's also she's been hot. She's been getting a lot of plaudits for all the work she's been doing on NXT and Raw and SmackDown. But then because they're hot, WWE go, let's book them all together all the time, which they have done. And the only reason I can see that Asuka won that triple tri-brand battle royal is because she's winning both titles. I think that's, otherwise what's the point? Like you said, what's the point? Just give it to like Mickie James or give it to someone else.
Right. She's
going to beat Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship to kind of prove herself that she wasn't just given it or handed it, which, you know, technically she was, but she did win it at the Money in the Bank. So I think that Asuka's leaving as double champ. She'll probably win it via, you know, some shenanigans because of Bayley and Sasha, which will then again heighten their rift, their split, and then you've got them as tag team champions going into Payback.
I mean, I see that point. I see the point of Asuka winning both, because why have her in both if she's not going to win them both?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been pushing the whole Shayna keeps saying she wants Asuka, and she even kind of said she doesn't want Sasha, she wants Asuka, and then she kind of said it doesn't matter who has it, she's still going to win it. So, I mean, Raw kind of writes itself because we know if, Asuka does win, which, again, why did they even give it to Sasha? Which I'm fine with them having all the gold because Sasha's gone. Sasha's last singles title was 2017. So I'm not opposed to her having a singles title for the first time in 3 years. What I am opposed to is her losing it in 30-some days again.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
She's never been successfully defended the Raw Women's title, has she?
No, I don't think so.
No, she's
technically she hasn't.
Yeah, every defense.
I mean, yeah. So it it doesn't make any sense to me with that in that regards, and then also with the fact that Sasha's been the one that has been still winning and Bayley has been losing. Which I mean, that doesn't mean that at the pay-per-view it can't switch, but I don't know. I think I'd rather have, and that's what kind of puts me in a corner because I'd rather have Bayley lose because she's had the title for so long now.
She's beaten everyone as well.
I would love to see somebody else on SmackDown get it, which would have been perfect for Mickey. You have literally all the women from SmackDown, but I mean, I get it. I get that they're using the ones that are the most popular, especially because it is SummerSlam. It's not a random pay-per-view. Yeah. It is a bigger pay-per-view. I get it. But I just think that it's just, with having Asuka in both, it's just made everything like either all or none. And like you said, now that you said it, it makes no sense for her to win none of them. But I don't know. I'm more interested in Sonya versus Mandy, so I'll leave it there.
Well, that's a perfect segue then. Mandy versus Sonya. So it was hair versus hair. Now it's loser leaves.
No DQ. Loser leaves WWE.
Another amazing promo by Sonya. She, since the kind of the turn that her promos have just been, she has been just excelling and thriving in this heel turn. Mandy has held her own too, but Sonya has just she's taken this opportunity and absolute cliche, just grabbed it with both hands and ran with it. It's fantastic. So that brings me to the kind of outcome of the match, is that Sonya has the most to lose out of this match. If Sonya loses this match, she will leave WWE on the kind of cusp of a great run. I think she's got the most to lose out of it. Obviously, there was that fucked up personal break-in situation thing, which is just beyond scary. So if she needs time off, she's within that right to do that. I don't think anyone's gonna have anything to say against that. But I think that she is on the precipice of greatness, I think. So if she is to leave, I do think it will be taking the kind of foot off the gas. I'm going to say I think that Sonya is going to win. I think that Sonya is going to win, and we're not going to see Mandy Rose for a while. And then hopefully Sonya is going to go to the next level and potentially feud with whoever is the SmackDown Women's Champion going forward. What say you?
I say that Sonya is going to lose. She's going to leave because of what's going on.
She needs to take.
I think she might need some time away.
Fuck yeah.
Which is understandable, and regardless, even if that situation didn't happen, who am I to say? Even Mandy might not need time away. Plus, because Mandy was there too.
Of course.
I mean, it wasn't Mandy's home, but it's still Mandy was still involved in it. So regardless, even if the stipulation wasn't there and it was just hair versus hair, where would Mandy go next? Because Sonya can literally, like you said, face Bayley next, face whoever, if it's Asuka, face whoever is the champion next.
Yeah, she's ready to go.
I mean, she had those couple of matches with Lacey Evans, and those matches were great. I'm not saying, and I'm a big Mandy Rose fan. I can see Mandy feuding with whoever else next, but I don't know who.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just, to me, like, Sonya had, like, those couple matches with Lacey, I guess because Mandy wasn't, I don't fully remember if Mandy was, like, around it. I guess she was. I think she showed up after the last match between them to, like, interfere. Maybe she was just on the screen. I don't remember. But regardless, who would Mandy feud with next? I mean, I would be more afraid that Mandy would just turn into Carmella. You know, not even Naomi, Lacey, Tamina, or Dana. She wouldn't even be around, like, at all. I feel like even if it was still hair versus hair, Sonya was still going to lose. Yeah. Because Mandy's already had her hair cut. So it would make more sense for Sonya to lose in that match. So why would she win in this one? So I just think that it's still going to be Sonya losing, and then I see your point. But then again, and of course, this is all based off of how things are going to look in January, because to me, the Royal Rumble is going to be so weird if there's no fans there. But anyway, regardless of the crowd situation for Royal Rumble, that would be a perfect time for Sonya to come back. Because to me, Sonya coming back at the Rumble, with or without a crowd, is going to be still going to be good for her. Because if she takes off, let's say, from September to January, people are going to want to see her come back. I mean, I see your point that it's kind of like, oh, she's at that point that we don't want her to step away. However, when she comes back, people are still going to remember what's happened. So I don't think it's going to hurt her that she takes time off. I think it's actually going to, if not, help her more. Granted, I get what you're saying. She's not going to go right into a title picture with Bayley or Asuka or who's ever next champion. So, which is going to suck because we all want to see her become a champion, because Fire and Desire never won the titles, which was a missed opportunity.
For sure.
But so was it with the Riot Squad too. So, I mean, they have literally barely 4 or 5 teams, and 3 of them never won anything. We've only had, and we're lucky Kabuki Warriors even won it, because at that time was when Asuka and Kyrie weren't being used.
Well, so while we're on the subject of the tag teams, who do you think is going to be Sasha and Bayley's payback opponents?
See, I like the fact that it's kind of a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Because we really don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as clear as, we knew Asuka was going to face at least Sasha at SummerSlam. We knew that Mandy and Sonya have been feuding. So it wasn't one of those like, oh, this is definitely going to happen. However, I mean, how many teams do they really have? So, I mean, it could be like, how are we going to, I mean, there's going to be no build. No build, unless it's going to be Asuka and somebody.
I think it
probably will be.
It's going to be Asuka and Shayna, I think. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I can see it being Asuka and Shayna, because that's just, I mean, who else are they going to really, granted, I mean, Sasha and Bayley can make anything work, in my opinion. So it could just be Sasha and Bayley versus the Iconics. It could be Sasha and Bayley versus Liv and Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
It could be all 3 of them in a triple threat. But the fact that they announced that's the only match they've announced for Payback, and it's 1 week away. Granted, they're probably trying to see what happens at SummerSlam. I'm going to just say Shayna and Asuka because it makes the most sense, even though that's not what I want. I mean, unless they wanted to make it an NXT team.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been saying this for like months, but why don't they just float it around NXT for a while? I don't see why that title has to be just SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah. Get to put a bit of importance on it, because
it can float around between Raquel and Dakota and
Ripley and Shotzi, or anyone.
Or even Shotzi and Tegan, because they were technically a team.
Yeah. I
mean, they already faced for it anyway, but and I feel like in NXT it's so much easier to just put a team together.
Yes.
Well, like, even though NXT is kind of equal now, like, and they're on TV, they can still put a team together easier than just Dana and Carmella.
Yeah.
Because Dana and Carmella, they were like, oh, well, we need 2 more people.
Yeah.
Or like the Elimination Chamber when they had Carmella and Naomi in the Elimination Chamber for the inaugural titles. They were like, oh, we need a last team.
Yeah.
Okay, Naomi and Carmella, you're it.
So finally, do you think we're going to see Alexa Bliss in the Fiend Braun Strowman match?
Yeah, I definitely see her. I mean, they would have to. If they don't, then I'm going to get bored already. I mean, I love it. I literally loved when she, when she was like Sister Abigail, so to speak, which we're assuming from Extreme Rules.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. That could have just been a one-off just to have her, whatever. But when they actually had it at the end of SmackDown 3 weeks ago or whatever, when
great.
the Fiend attacked her, that was like unexpected for that to just randomly happen. Although, yeah, she was technically at Extreme Rules, but so I'm still invested. But they need to do something. Like they can only for so many more weeks just have her just like or somewhere. Like they need to have her either Sister Abigail or actually like I don't know, maybe she'll show up tonight like in a different outfit or a different whatever. Well, but I feel like something has to happen tonight.
Do you think she's siding with the Fiend, or her and Braun are like playing a trick or playing a game against the Fiend?
I could see it going either way. I kind of would just like her just to be with the Fiend, because if we actually finally had a Sister Abigail where she's going to be called that.
We've wanted that for years, yeah.
Finally, I mean, Bray Wyatt's been a character now for, I don't know how long he's been that character, but it's at least been 5+ years. Yeah, but we've been waiting Sister Abigail, which there was so many people that it could have been. It could have been Paige. It could have been
Liv.
Liv. Well, yeah, that was the big thing for Liv to do it. But Alexa's not somebody I would have thought of. So I'm actually highly, whether or not that's what she's going to be or not, she clearly is playing some sort of role in it. So, but then again, there's also people saying, well, maybe if she is siding with Braun, then maybe Nikki's the Sister Abigail.
Yeah, because Nikki did the promo, didn't she, on SmackDown, saying that Alexa had changed. She was still Alexa. She looked and sounded like Alexa, but she was different. She was colder. So I suppose the Fiend claims another victim. Just to kind of wrap it up. We'll just a quick recap. I'm going with Asuka to win both titles. You're going with her to win All or Nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. So I guess I'll do All or Nothing because why not? And then I'm doing Sonya.
So then I've gone for a Sonya win, and you've gone for a Mandy win.
Yes.
So we'll see how that plays out, and then we both agree that Alexa Bliss is going to be in the championship, involved in the championship match in some form or another. So we'll see how that plays out.
I think Nikki might be involved too, because
that's interesting.
She said on SmackDown, she said that she feels something terrible is going to happen or horrible. I think
that's right.
Terrible.
That's right. Yeah.
So I feel she's at least gonna be there backstage, whatever. I don't know if she's gonna be actually involved, but she's definitely involved in it somehow. They're still keeping her and Alexa going
relevant.
So there's still something that she's gonna be. Whether maybe Nikki's actually the one that's gonna be with the Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Alexa is playing him and she's with Braun. And that'll be the split up of them. I don't know. But something needs to happen, or else people, or just me, are going to get tired of it. Because I feel like it is so interesting and a lot of people are into it. But you can't just keep going, because then we're just going to have retribution that just comes in every every week and just destroys everything for no reason.
Ugh.
As Michael Cole says, he doesn't understand what they want. Clearly, they want retribution. I don't understand why it's so hard for him to figure it out.
Oh God! Well,
that's a whole nother can of worms.
That is another can of worms.
Because there's about 20 of them now. So,
but we'll save that for another day for sure. So with all that being said, thanks for joining us, and I'm sure we'll do this again soon. Well, yeah, that's great, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
Awesome.